Welcome to Himani Coaching Center. We are committed to simplify concepts and amplify confidence of all the students who are watching our video to learn maths, physics, and chemistry. Today, we are going to discuss competency focused questions on quadratic equations for class 10th CBSE. As most of you would be aware, from this year onwards, CBSE has started focusing more on competency based questions where students would be tested on the application of knowledge which they have acquired. Accordingly, questions might seem to be a bit different, which of course they are, but they are not difficult once you understand the concept. If you are watching the video for the first time, please subscribe to the video, press the bell icon. Also, a request to all the viewers, please share the video with most of your friends and help me spread word. So let us look at first question. It says in the figure below, two concentric circles have center O. Their radii are R and R plus 6 centimeter respectively. Uh, find the length of chord AB and CD. Now, if you look at the figure, we are given circle and OP is perpendicular to AB and OQ is perpendicular to CD. Just watch here. OP is perpendicular to AB and OQ, which is from O to Q, this is perpendicular to CD. Now remember, class ninth, you would have learned this theorem that perpendicular from center of a circle to a chord bisects the chord. Okay, that is something which we are going to apply here. Now look at the length of AB, which is given to us as 2r minus 18, and OP is perpendicular to AB. So we will simply, you have to write the statement that perpendicular from center of a circle to a chord bisects the chord. Therefore, AP should be equal to half of AB, and we can write it as half of 2r minus 18. So if you do this, half into 2r minus half into 18. So what will we get? We will get AP as r minus 9. Okay, students? Again, you will have to write the statement that perpendicular, okay, let me write perpendicular from center of a circle to a chord bisects the chord. Okay, why am I insisting on this? Look at this marks. This is a 5 marker question. So half mark would be just for writing this step. So you will get 1 by 2 mark for writing this. If you don't write this, you won't get this half mark. So be sure that you are writing the steps properly. Now, once we are done with this, then if you look at the triangle, which is OAP, it is a right angle triangle, and in a right angle triangle, we can apply Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so now let us look. This is P. Opposite to 90 degree is the hypotenuse. So, what is the theorem? Pythagoras theorem says h square equals p square plus b square, perpendicular square plus base square. So, h, which is OA, is r, so r square. P, OP is r minus 8, so r minus 8 square plus r minus 9 square. Now, r minus 8 square and r minus 9 square, we will use which formula? A minus b whole square. And what is that equal to? It is equal to a square plus b square minus 2ab. So you just write this formula and simplify. So this would be r square. 8 is b here, so 8 square is 64. Minus 2ab, minus 2 times r into 8 will give us minus 16r. Likewise, for solving r minus 9 whole square, we should get r square plus 81 minus 18r, and this is equal to r square. So now what will happen? So now we can see this r square plus r square will become 2r square. We have r square here, we will just keep that. Minus 16r minus 18r will give us minus of 34r plus 64 plus 81. So you can add them, 4 and 1, 5, 6 and 8, 14. So we are getting 2r square minus 34r plus 145 equals r square. Since this has an equation with a variable of power 2, so it's a quadratic equation. So let us bring this r square also to this side. So what will happen? 2r square minus r square, we would be just left with r square, then minus 34r plus 145, which is equal to 0. Okay, so pause the video and note down this step, or you can rewind the video after and note down the steps. So I'm taking a bit few seconds break so that you can note down the steps, and then we will move on to the next step. I need some space, so I will have to clear the board. So now let us remove this part. Okay, that's something is wrong. Let me just erase it. Perhaps that's better. Give me few seconds, students. So now we can just take this equation up. Okay, that also is not possible. Uh, so let me write this down. So we have the equation as r square minus 34r plus 145, which is equal to 0. Now we have to solve for r. Let's do that. So if you want to do it with middle term splitting, so you have to find factors of 145, which should give sum as minus 34. Or if you don't get the factors, then it is always advisable to use b square minus 4ac. Okay, so now let us use b square minus 4ac. So d, which is equal to b square. What is b here? Minus 34 squared minus 4 times 1, because a is 1, times c, which is 145. Okay, now minus squared is a plus, so this will become plus, and 34 square. So 34 square, you can do what? You can just write it as 30 plus 4 whole square. So 30 square is a 900, 4 square is a 16, 2 times 4 is 8, times 30 is 240, and this is how you can do it faster. So you get 1156. Then minus into plus is a minus, 4 fives are 20, 4 fours are 16, 18, 4 ones are 4. So we have 1156 minus 580. Let's do that. Okay. And you get 576. Okay. So 576 is the, just a second, I think I cannot erase like this. So we have got D as 576. So we have got D, which is 576. So we can find root D, which would be 24. So for this, how do you find square root faster? If you haven't watched that video, please go to the description. The link is provided and you go through the video. You can find the square root faster just by looking at the steps, you can find it in 20 seconds. Now let us find R. So R would be what? Minus B. So minus of minus 34 plus minus root D, which is 24 over 2A. So A is 1. So we get 34 plus 24 by 2, then 34 minus 24 by 2. Now 34, 30 plus 20 happens to be 50. 58 by 2 gives us 29. One value of R can be 29. Other value of R can be 5. But we have to see, is this applicable? So if you put R as 5, okay, let us take R as 5, then R minus 9 will give us 5 minus 9, which is minus 4. So R equals to minus 5 would be rejected. You will have to show this step. Okay. Again, I am taking a pause, note the steps, and then I will erase this and we will get into the next step. So we have figured out that radius R is 29 centimeter. Okay. Okay, students, I hope you have noted this down and understood the concept. If not, please rewind the video, watch this again and understand these steps. Now we have understood that the value for R is 29. Then we have to find what? Length of chord AB and CD. So that means AP would be 29 minus 9 because AP is R minus 9, which is 20. And what did we say? That perpendicular from center to a chord bisects the chord. That means AB is equal to twice of AP, and hence the length of AB is 40 centimeter. Now we also have to find CD. For that, what will we do? We will find CQ using Pythagoras theorem, and twice of CQ would be equal to CD. So we know that CD is equal to twice of CQ. Okay. Now if you look at the triangle, this is R plus 6. So that is 29 plus 6. This becomes 35. This is R minus 1. So which is 29 minus 1, which is 28. Again, we are using Pythagoras theorem. So we have to find base. So base square is equal to hypotenuse square minus perpendicular square. So that is 35 square minus 28 square. We can just use a plus b into a minus b. Okay, that is always faster. Now you will find 35 plus 28 is 77. 35 minus 28 is 7. So we get 7 times 11 times 7 is b square. So b is square root of 7 times 11 times 7, which is 7 root 11. Okay. 7 root 11 is CQ. So what would be CD? It would be 2 times 7 root 11 or 14 root 11 centimeter is the length of CD. Okay, this is how we do this particular question. Again, if you look at this question, this is not a straightforward question where you are given right angle triangle and you are asked to prove. Here they have given circle, so they are checking application of your acquired knowledge till class 9th. Okay, now let us move to next question, which again is a very good question. It says Vittal went on a long cycling round trip from his home to a nearby hill and back. The journey to the hill started with a 40-kilometer flat road and then a 25-kilometer uphill slope. Okay, so Though the diagram is not required, but just for understanding, perhaps he went cycling for 40 kilometer, then he went up 25 kilometer up the hill. While going uphill, his average speed reduced by 10 kilometer per hour compared to the flat road, leading to an extra half hour of travel time. However, he maintained the same average speed on the flat road in both directions. What does that mean? Like when he was going to the hill, his speed was same, and when he was coming on the flat road, the speed was same. Okay, this is what is meant. Now the question asks us, find the time taken by Vittal to reach the end of 65 kilometer stretch in the uphill direction. Then second question is, if he took 2.5 hours to reach home from the hill. So while coming back, what will he do? He has to come back and then go this direction. We are told that the speed on flat road is same. Okay. But what about the other speed, that we will have to see. And that is what they are asking. Find his average speed on the slope. Now, let us assume, so we will, again, this is a 5 marker question. So we will assume that let the speed on flat road be x kilometer per hour. Okay. And he covered how much distance? 40 kilometer distance. Okay. Now remember, time is equal to distance divided by speed. Okay. So time taken by him to cover this 40 kilometer stretch on flat road. So let us write T1 would be X. So what is the distance he covered? 40. And what is the time he has taken? X. T1 is equal to 40 by X. Okay. That is the time taken by him. Correct? Now it says that while going uphill, his average speed is reduced by 10 kilometer per hour. So now let us write uphill speed. Since the speed on flat road was x kilometer, so now it has become x minus 10 kilometer per hour. What is the distance he covered uphill? 25 kilometer. So what is the time taken? T2. It is 25 by x minus 10 hours. Okay. Both are in hours. Now read the question. What is the question saying? While going uphill, his average speed reduced by 10 kilometer per hour compared to the flat road, leading to an extra half hour of travel time. That means T2 is equal to T1 plus half, or we can say T2 minus T1 is equal to half. Students, remember, since we are talking kilometer per hour, okay, therefore time is in hours. Sometimes in the question, instead of half hour, they could have said he took extra 30 minutes. So then you would have to write time as 30 divided by 60, because 30 minutes divided by 60 will give you half hour. Now note these steps. I am taking a pause so that you can note down this, because then I will erase this and we will take the step further. So now we have 40 by x, okay, for time up on the flat road, and we said T2 minus T1. So let me write that down. So T2, let us copy from here. T2 is 25 over x minus 10 minus 40 over x, which is equal to half. So what we will do, we will have to do the LCM because the denominators are unlike. So in order to make them like, this needs to be multiplied with x, so the numerator gets multiplied with x. This needs multiplication with x minus 10, so the numerator also gets multiplied. So when we solve this, we'll have 25x minus 40x, and minus into minus is a plus 400, divided by x into x is x square minus 10x, which is equal to half. Okay. Now we will get minus 15x plus 400 divided by x square minus 10x, which is equal to half. Now let us do cross multiplication to make the equation, and then we will have to solve the quadratic equation. Okay, so let us just minimize this. Just a second, students, there is some problem here. What am I not doing right now? I can do this. Yeah. Now, when we multiply, so 2 times minus 15x will give us minus 30x, while 2 times 400 gives us 800, which is equal to x square minus 10x. Now let us shift everything to one side. So minus 30x, when it goes to the other side, it will become plus 30x, while 800, which is plus, goes to other side, becomes minus 800. So we get x square plus 20x minus 800, which is equal to 0. Now 40 times 20 is 800, and minus 40 plus 20 will give us plus 40 minus 20 will give us plus 20. Okay, and my plus 40 into minus 20 will give us minus 800. So we can just simplify this. So x square plus 40x minus 20x minus 800 equals 0. Then we will do factors. So x into x plus 40 minus 20 common, and x plus 40 equals 0. So we get x plus 40 times x minus 20 equals 0. Then we will do what? Zero product rule. Okay. Now this, why am I writing? It's a 5 marker question. So we have to show that as per zero product rule, either x plus 40 is 0 or x minus 20 is 0. This will give us x as minus 40, rejected, speed cannot be negative, or x is 20 kilometer per hour. Okay, so students, pause the video and note the steps down. Okay, now, so the question was, find the time taken by Vittal to reach the end of 65 kilometer stretch in the uphill. Okay, so we have to find T1 plus T2. Okay, so what is T1? Because x is 20, so T1 would be 40 upon 20. So let us find that and get the answer, because the question is we have to find the time. We have got the speed. Now we will find the time. So we will say, okay, since he has covered T1 is 40 by 20, which is 2 hours. Okay. Then he covered the next distance T2, time is 25 over x minus 10. So let us do that. So T2 is 25 over x minus 10, which is 10. So you get 2.5 hours. So how much time has he taken to cover the entire journey of 65 kilometers? 2 plus 2.5 hours. So 4.5 hour is the answer. Okay. Now let us look at the next question. The question says, if he took 2.5 hours to reach home from the hill, then find his average speed on the slope while descending. Now, student, remember what is the question? The question very clearly says that his speed remains same on the flat road in both directions. Okay, so that means, see, if he has taken 2.5 hours, okay, to reach home from the hill, we found that he took 2 hours, okay, on the flat road. That means out of 2.5 hours on the flat road, since his speed was same, he would have taken 2 hours. So that means what? That he covered, that's what you have to say, that he covered 25 kilometer downhill at what, within what time? In half hour. So what would be the speed? Speed equals distance divided by time. So distance is 25 divided by half, or 25 into 2, which is 50 kilometer per hour. Okay. So this is how we solve this question. Okay. Pause the video and note down the steps. Okay, students, now let us move to the next question, which happens to be a case study question. Again, question is simple but not very straightforward. Again, you are going to be tested on your knowledge application. Okay, so now let us read the question. Let me do one thing first. Give me a second. Yeah, it says Bangalore City Corporation is building parks in residential area across the city. Shown below is one such park. The rectangular park consists of various components like walking track, kids play area, open gym, etc., which is given now. Okay. Now read the question here. Question says gate 3 has been placed exactly opposite to gate 1 on the boundary of the park. So this is gate 1, this is gate 3. They are exactly opposite to each other. The distance between gate 3 and gate 2, so this is gate 2, is 1 meter more than the distance between gate 3 and the distance between gate 3 and gate 2 is 1 meter more than the distance between gate 3 and gate 1. Okay, that's a misprint here. The shortest distance between gate 1 and gate 2 is 29 meter. Now, see, let us draw the diagram. So, this is exactly opposite. It has to be a straight line. Okay, and then this is another straight line. So, this means these two lines are perpendicular to each other. So if I write this as A, B and C, so AB and BC are perpendicular to each other. Now let us look at what is the question saying. The distance between gate 3 and gate 2 is 1 meter more than distance between gate 3 and gate 1. So we will say let the distance between gate 1 and gate 3 be x. Then what would be this distance? It would be x plus 1. Okay. Now, if you read the question, it says the shortest distance between gate 1 and 2 is 29 meters. Now, students, here you are supposed to use your knowledge of right angle triangle. So, the shortest distance between A and C is displacement. It's a concept of physics. And so, this is the shortest distance. So, AC. Now, AC is your hypotenuse. Okay, and this distance is given to us as 29 meters. Okay, remember, it's a very simple question, just that your knowledge is being tested. So you guys have learned distance and displacement. So here we are putting AC, that is the shortest distance. What is displacement? Shortest distance between initial and final position. Okay, so that's what we have done. Now we have to find width of the path. That is very simple. We have to find x. Now once you have understood this, then to we just have to apply Pythagoras theorem. So let's do that. So according to Pythagoras theorem, what will happen? We should have x square plus x plus 1 square, which is equal to 29 square. Okay, correct. Now, how do you find x plus 1 square? You are going to use a plus b whole square formula. Correct? So, that will give us what? So, x square plus, now x plus 1 whole square would be x square plus 1 square, which is 1 plus 2x, and 29 square will give us 841. You can do 29 into 29, or you can do 30 minus 1 whole square and use a minus b whole square. 30 square would be 900. 1 square is 1, so this becomes 901. And then you are doing what? Minus 2ab, so minus 60. So that will give you 841. Okay. So you can use a minus b whole square and get the answer fast. Now we have got 2x square plus 2x plus 1 minus 841, which is equal to 0. Okay, so which will give us 2x square plus 2x minus 840, which is equal to 0. You can see all the numbers are divisible by 2, so let us divide and write the final equation. So that would be x square plus x minus 420, which is equal to 0. Okay, so pause the video and note the steps. Okay, students, now let us solve this equation. See, if you are good with numbers in terms of finding the factors, okay, now 42, 420 is 21 times 20, okay, and I have to get plus x. So I will do what? Plus 21x minus 20x and get the answer, okay. Or you can do b square minus 4ac and solve it. Okay. So let us do middle term splitting. So x square plus 21x minus 20x minus 420, which is equal to 0. So you take x common, x plus 21. Here we take minus 20 common, again x plus 21, which is giving us 0. So x minus 20 times x plus 21 equals 0. Okay, and it's a case study question, so we don't need to write zero product rule. We can simply show the step x minus 20 equals 0 gives x equals 20, or x plus 21 equals 0 gives x equals minus 21, which would be rejected because width or length cannot be negative. So the width of the park is 20 meter. Okay. Now, let us look at the second question. Here we are asked, they are saying the caretaker of the park is attempting to plant saplings in the form of a square. That is, number of rows of sapling is the same as the number of columns of saplings. On arranging the saplings, he found that 24 saplings were still left with him. When he increased the number of rows and columns by 1, he found that he was short of 25 saplings. Okay, he was short of 25 saplings. Question is, find the number of saplings available with him and we have to show the working. So before I do this, I pause the video and write the steps for the previous question quickly. Okay, now let me erase this. So we are done with this question. In fact, the role of this diagram also gets over. So let me see if I can remove this. No. Okay. Now, let us understand the question. So, the caretaker, when he is keeping the number of rows of sapling is same as number of columns of sapling. So, just understand, if there are three rows and three columns, so how many saplings are there? Three square. Okay. Four rows, four columns, four square. So, we will use that concept. So, we will say, let there be X number of rows and same number of columns of saplings. So how many saplings would be there in first case? It would be x square. Then how many saplings were left? 24 saplings were left. That means the number of saplings which are there should be equal to x square plus 24. Now, when he uh, does one row and one column extra, then he found that he was short of 25 saplings. So let us do that. If you do that, then x plus 1 into x plus 1, that is x plus 1 square. Then that, number of saplings were 25 short. So now in this case, I can write that number of saplings should be x plus 1 whole square minus 25. Correct? Now, what is it? Both equation 1 and 2 are giving us the number of saplings only. So, let us equate and solve. So, that is all we have to do here. So, let us do that. So, x square plus 21 equals x plus 1 whole square, which is x square plus 1 plus 2x minus 25. Now, what will happen here is you have x square on both sides that cut each other. Now we have 2x and then, okay, let us solve. So 24 equals 2x minus 24, or we can say 2x is equal to 24 plus 24, which is 48, or x equals 48 by 2, which is 24. So this is how we show the number of saplings available with him. Okay. Again, pause the video and note down the working. Now, students, let us go to the uh, okay, I think that's the repetition. Yeah, now let us go to the last question of the case study. It says the city corporation is planning to install a rectangular sand table as shown below for the kids in the play area. The carpenter is asked to design a rectangular table whose length is thrice its width and the area is 108 square meter. Question is determine whether such a table can be made. Show your steps. First understand if the length is thrice its width. So let us say the width is x meter. Then according to question, length is 3x. Correct? Now, what is the area according to this? Area is length into breadth. So area would be 3x into x, which is 3x square. And that is given equal to 108. So you can just show 3x square equals 108. Then x square would be equal to 108 by 3, okay, which is 3 threes are 9 and 6 are 18, so x is equal to 6. So you will say, yes, this kind of rectangular table can be designed. Okay, so this is how you solve this question. With this, we come to the end of today's video. It has been a very long video, but students, I would suggest you watch this video some 3-4 times to understand the questions very, very clearly. You will get questions like this in your board. Okay, so it is better to be prepared for the kind of questions which are going to be asked in your board exams. Again, a request to all of you, please share the video with maximum number of friends and help me spread word. Prepare well, sleep well, and study regularly and solve questions yourself. Don't just watch the video and feel that you will be able to do it. No one learns swimming just by watching someone swim. You have to jump into the pool of water. Same applies to maths also. The more you solve questions, more you would be prepared to face the exam. Okay, that's all for now. Thanks for watching the video.